Sometimes trying to make the most out of each weekend during the summer can lead to a little bit of burnout. There's a sort of ratcheting up of pressure to squeeze in the big crown jewel hikes that you had planned for the year. Well, I'm here to tell you that sometimes just picking a no-frills weekend backpacking trip can be a great way to get your fill, and you might even find a new favorite. This little weekend excursion took us to Glacier Lake in the Tahoe National Forest. These spur-of-the-moment trips are perfect for a walk in a national forest because you don't have to fuss around with highly sought-after permits and lotteries.
I think we're going right up through there, that little gap. This is going to be a really pretty place. We were down in all the trees. We had some nice overhead cover, and then all of a sudden there was just a big whoosh, cut off, and now we are in exposed rock. It'd be nice if these clouds would cover us up for, maybe a few seconds, but they seem to not be building too much. I think we might at least be able to get to camp before things get a little dicey. So we'll see. But as you can see, we're not messing around. 1 o'clock in the Sierras. Well, we made it to Glacier Lake. Could definitely see this being a big glacier at some point in the past. This little high spot is excellent, and we have a great view.
It was the afternoon in the Sierras, so we quickly set to work getting our tent up. The dynamic sky from the clouds passing overhead would make for some excellent photos later, but for now, we took the time to rest and enjoy the lake and the excellent weather. We had the lake all to ourselves, and after spending some time resting, we decided we wanted to check out all the other nearby landmarks we'd seen on the map.
All right, so what I'm really liking about this scene is that we have this really prominent foreground out here, and that foreground kind of creates this separation between this, and then if you zoom in a little bit, there's these big old mountains way out there. And I think if I can kind of get it placed in the right place, you'll be able to see the person standing kind of out, kind of in that area, and it'll make the compression will make the person look, bigger, but it'll also make the mountains in the distance more kind of grandiose. So we're going to try that out. So we're up on that knob that I was just taking pictures of people on, and you can see off in the distance those mountains. They have a really cool set of clouds above them. So I think I'm going to do a vertical pano and then hopefully stitch it together, and it'll really give you a sense of scale, I think, how big these mountains are and how big those thunderheads are. Really, really good view up here. There's some really interesting colors in this stone crop. And I think if I can get the background of that mountain in the back, it could be a really cool shot. I don't think I'll be able to get them both in focus in the same shot, and focus stacking might kind of make it look artificial. So I kind of want the focus to be on the stone crop itself. So I think that I'm not going to try to have them both in focus, and the mountain in the background will just be kind of a implied big looming thing. So we'll see how that turns out. This is a really interesting shot because she is in white clothing and the sun is on us, but then in the far background, that mountain actually is, in shade or in cloud cover. And so she stands out really brightly against it. I think this will be a nice shot.
At that point, I was pretty confident that I had really taken advantage of the unique sights around the lake, and we headed back to camp for dinner. Immediately after dinner, we went to some locations that I had scoped out during our photo walk earlier in the day.
Alright, so we made it up to the highest point in the entire kind of area here, aside from the actual mountains themselves. And it's giving us a really good view of everything around us. And what we're really hoping for is that this sun continues to set and the clouds don't cover it, because if it goes below, it's getting close, and then it can throw nice light onto the clouds themselves, but they can also be a double-edged sword because they can actually cover up the sun. I think I'm just going to sit here and pick out little like vignettes in the area. And I think that there's some really cool things, like, for example, this tree right here. I think there's a lot of opportunity there if I can separate it from the background, because it's so much brighter than the black back there that's covered up by the mountain's shadow. Out there, I do really like this kind of mountain range sticking up into the sky and all the layers that it has between us and that. well, I'm up. It is early, ready for sunrise, golden hour. I don't think I've ever seen mosquitoes that are so voracious as they are here. There's like a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, and they're still able to hit you in the face. They're very strong flyers here, I guess. So I'm back out here on this high point that I've been out on a couple times, and I think that this will give me the ideal spot to be able to shoot in several different directions, while also being able to kind of be ready if the light changes. So, for example, I'm excited to shoot way out there at that mountain range that I've been seeing, because I think it's really cool. It stands out a lot on the horizon. But then also, where I'm sitting right here, I can look back toward the bowl that we're staying in at Glacier Lake, and I can see when the sunrise starts to hit the tops of the mountains over there. So I can adjust if I need to. I can run back up to the actual lake itself. So this seems like a good starting spot. I kind of scoped it out yesterday. So we're going to see how it goes. But I'm pretty excited about this sunrise. It doesn't have a lot of clouds, unfortunately, because the wind came up last night and kind of blew everything out. But I think that there's some potential here for some nice golden light. So we'll have to see. It's pretty nice being out here just by yourself. Kind of get to just think, you know? All right, well, it looks like the sun is just starting to hit the sides of that mountain range, so I'm gonna start snapping away. I think that'll be the first thing, since it doesn't look like there's anything like this. There's this big mountain here, but I don't think there's anything behind it to block it, since it's kind of just so prominent and by itself. So that'll probably be the first thing to photograph, and then probably end up going back around and getting pictures of going back to the bowl. So I think the long lens is going to be the play here, because I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot of picking out little light patches and how they affect the landscape. So stay tuned. I'm really liking that all of the different layers of this landscape are slowly becoming lit at different times. There's also some really nice moonbeams coming through the misty kind of low spot here. And so I think that there's really an opportunity for some wide angle shots, actually. Totally different than what I originally planned. Let's see how it goes. All right, so I was kind of packing it up because this whole area had kind of done its thing already. And so it's coming over, and I noticed these really cool yellow flowers here. And it just so happens that the mountain over here is just getting kind of barely touched by the sun. And so I was thinking, what if I did kind of a wide angle, tall shot with the flowers as the foreground and then the mountain as the background? And so what I did is just frame it up, and then now I'm going to focus just kind of like halfway into the image, which in this image is only, maybe 30, 40 feet away. And because I'm at f11, everything should be in focus. Let's see. Okay. Just review that. So if we zoom in a little bit, you may not be able to see it on the GoPro, but these are indeed nice and sharp. So I'm pretty happy with that shot. It'd be better if there was a little bit of sun hitting us right here. So I may actually wait until the sun peaks over that little hill over there, because I can see already that the trees are starting to get it. So it's going to come down pretty quick. And I think if there's a little bit of sun hitting this area, it'll really like make the flowers pop, the yellow of the flowers pop. So we're gonna wait here a little bit longer. All right, so the sun is finally hitting this, and what I'm really liking is that right in here it's very bright, but then out here it's actually still dark, which kind of de-emphasizes this kind of boring middle ground. And then we have the bright trees, and we got the bright mountains out here. And I think this is a really neat composition. I'm going to shoot it some more.
I think if I had dropped the camera down a little bit more, I could have completely eliminated the dark mid area, but hindsight is 20/20. After the morning photo session, we packed everything up and hit the trail to head back home. I really enjoyed this quick overnight trip. Even if it wasn't a must-see location, the solitude and relaxed nature of these small alpine lakes sometimes makes them a better opportunity to just get out there.